Hello everyone, how you going, and welcome back to Mildly Interesting, the place for photos that are, mildly interesting. There really isn't too much to say besides that, but I hope some of these you go, I guess that is mildly interesting. Starting off with, I made a very round snowman. My goodness, and it's not even just round, it's the fact that it looks so solid. Like I have to say, every single time I see snow on any of these subs, I just really don't have much experience with snow and cold environments overall. I have made a snowman, but it was nothing like that. It was kind of just a sad little pile of snow with, I don't know, another pile of snow on top. Whereas this thing looks as though you've drawn it and photoshopped it in there or something. It looks so animated and so perfect. It's not even, like I said, it's not even just the roundness, it's just how smooth and perfect it is. I don't know if that's kind of a thing that is able to be achieved in certain countries, whether it's kind of the powder of the snow and you're able to compact it more or what, but the snow I've experienced is just so icy and just that there is no way I'd be able to recreate this. But isn't a snowman meant to have a face and a nose and whatever other kind of decorations you want to put on it? Surely at the moment that's just kind of like a sculptural art piece where they stack 3 rocks on top of each other. Even though everyone can tell where you're going with these 3 stacked snowballs, it's just like, it's really just missing that character. Its core memories just haven't developed yet. But no, really, like I said, I've just never experienced a snowman to that kind of level of perfection. So I don't know, as well as being mildly interesting, I kind of find it as oddly satisfying to stare at. Upside down, the Bulls logo looks like a robot making love to a crab. Oh God. I was about to say, how did you notice this? But then I kind of went, well, of course, if you're wearing it on your sleeve and you're looking down at it and it's being designed for other people to look at, then of course you're looking at it that way the whole time. You're going, what is on my arm? Hang on, I thought I ordered a bull, not a crab and a robot. I'm not exactly sure what these 3 lines would represent in what you're describing here, but I can certainly see the rest of the entire situation that they described. Oh, but hang on, I've actually just looked at the image more and it's not an arm at all. It's just a leg. I didn't even really look at what the kneecap was. I kind of thought it was I don't know, an elbow. I was too busy looking at the logo to even look at what it was. So don't worry, I'm not completely losing it and thinking they do have knees on elbows and in any way, shape or form they look similar. I just didn't really care too much for that detail in the beginning. I was just too interested, or I guess actually mildly interested in terms of what was actually going on with the, well, what they described, I guess. But yeah, there must be so many logos out there in the world that we just, you'd never even think of, but as soon as you see them upside down, you go, oh, I just cannot unsee it. The amount of logos that would be produced for brands that would just get completely scrapped because someone's drawn it up, it all looks good, and then someone just goes, what if we turn it 90 degrees? What happens if we turn it upside down, and you suddenly reveal this entirely different image such as this, and they go, oi, that is not what we want for our brand. We got to get rid of this one. We can't have think if we sponsor any kind of ideas like that. But hey, obviously the Bulls didn't get this far, and I guess you call the Bulls, you can't just go and suddenly put a chicken on it. You need to have some sort of a bull. So yeah, I guess it's not too offensive. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's certainly mildly interesting. My mum has 2 vacuums from the same company with nearly 100-year age difference. Wow. what is it? Bissells. Is that what it's called? Bissills? Actually, I guess it'd be easier to read the new one than the old one. Bissell. Bissell History. Patented in 1876. Oh my goodness. And in 1883, the first Bissell manufacturing plant was built in, my goodness, in Michigan. Wow, I wonder if this one was built in Michigan or something. Actually, it wouldn't be that old. It would be more like a 1920s, that kind of era, 1910s, 1920s. Kind of era one, which actually I guess means that is already 30 years into the manufacturing cycle of this entire thing. They've already been doing it since 1876. Like, they've been doing it forever by this point, over 40 years, and then it's since been another 100 years. But no, that's incredible, because I'd never even heard of them. You hear the typicals that have made big names for themselves, like Dyson and I don't know, I guess Roomba, even something like Hoover, which has turned itself into a word that the Brits use to kind of describe any vacuum cleaner. But no, then you can have these people that have been around for like 140 years and I've never even heard of them. Even if you haven't used something, you can generally recall if you've even seen the brand, but I just cannot recall even seeing it in stores or anything. But no, really, the most incredible thing is that this one actually still looks as though it's in pretty good nick. Whether that's the original handle or not, I'd be a little bit skeptical of that. I feel as though surely it would have broken at some point, but maybe not, Maybe it was just kind of a dust bound broom that has kind of been used, but I guess it's not really being treated badly. If you don't try and snap it up for kindling or something, it should last. And I guess actually on that point, I bet you'll have the one on the left for longer than the one on the right. This one will last for a couple of years or whatever it may be, and then it will get chucked, whether it be because it broke or for the newer model, whatever it be. But meanwhile, you just keep the other one for 140 years and ongoing, and it still works perfectly fine. So yeah, I guess it's just a testament to the saying they don't make them like they used to. I guess to be fair though, they also didn't used to make them like they do now, but but you get the point. Found these 110-ish-year-old crayons in the back of a family secretary desk of Paxtilath's crayons. Trade Crayola Mark Gold Medal 6 colors school crayons for educational color work. Manufactured by Binney and Smith Co. New York and Paris. Wow. I wonder if for something like a crayon, if they've changed the recipe of how it's made in the last 110 years. Because with any of those super kind of old and long running companies, let's take Coca-Cola or something for example, their entire recipe for their product has changed over the decades, you know, or even just getting cheaper with a new material that comes out or whatever it may be. All these things change, but I wonder if something kind of as simple and as basic as basically just colored wax has changed in the last 110 years, because I almost feel as though it wouldn't have. And also, I guess they probably have just a whole suite of colors that they weren't able to produce before just because of, you know, color shortages and dye shortages or whatever it may be. But yeah, like I said, I wonder if the actual material, you know, the crayon that you leave behind on the paper actually is the same as what it was 110 years ago as it is now. Because realistically, they look pretty similar. It looks as though maybe the box has started to fray in the inside or whatever you want to call it, kind of decomposed a little bit, so it started to stick to the crayons. But seeing as it's 110 years old, I reckon we can cut it some slack in some departments. I also just want to see this desk that it's been living in for 110 years, you know, that obviously means that the desk is very old, or maybe it's actually a slightly newer desk and it's kind of been carted around. But realistically, this carton, besides this little corner here, is in pretty good nick, I'd say. You know, it's not a PSA 10, but it's probably a PSA 8. I don't exactly know if there's grading for Crayola cartons or whatnot, but I reckon it is actually in surprisingly good nick for how old it is. Me and my girlfriend got each other the exact same gift for Christmas. Oh no. Look at that face. I would have loved to kind of seen a selfie when you can just see both of you holding up your brand new mugs. What is that? Troy in a bed in the morning? I don't even know, but at least they actually seem like different cups. Unless this face is somehow on the other side of this face and we can't see it, but they are actually different, so they're not the same. You somehow managed to get the exact same present, but still be different. But hey, I mean, there's plenty of worse things to happen, you know? It obviously means that you have a common interest in whatever this thing is. I've never heard of Troy in a bed, and so also I have no idea if this is a gag gift or not. But either way, you're obviously both thinking on the same kind of wavelength and frequency to kind of figure out what each other wanted. Or perhaps maybe you ended up just getting yourself the gift, you know? Perhaps you both go, actually, I like the one that I got for you more though, so can we swap? But no, it would have been so funny. Whoever opened up their present first would have had no idea. And then as they're opening it, they just see and they go, oh, a mug. Wow, okay. And then they pick it up and they go, hang on. Because you as the gifter wouldn't know what you're getting yet unless you actually open them at exactly the same time. But either way, it just would have been this great moment of realization where you both just went, what has just happened? But anyway, like I said, she seems to be smiling and I'm sure you are too, you know, it's just Christmas and everyone's happy. It's always the thought that counts, and you obviously were thinking the same thing. My university sent me a wallet-sized diploma. God, what is this font? Wilkes University. By authority of the Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of the faculty, Wilkes University hereby confers upon blah 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 the degree of Bachelor of Arts. No wonder they sent you a pocket-sized one. They go, oh, you won't be framing this, will you? Given with the seal of Wilkes University in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania on the 16th day of May 2015. Geez, that's a little bit old. I was expecting this to actually be a new one. But no, I have actually heard about this before, and I guess it makes sense, you know, people want to be able to carry that around, and it's a sense of achievement that they can kind of take anywhere. No one else has to really look at it, but you can just kind of carry this little square and just look at it if you want to. I guess it would kind of be a similar thing to filling the wallet with the kids' photos or whatnot. Because even though this person said that they sent them a pocket-sized diploma, I just can't imagine that's such a real one and they didn't get kind of a, I don't know, a scrolled one or whatever you want to call it. You know, the one you would actually get framed if you wanted to hang it up, I guess in a doctor's office or those kind of places. Well, actually, maybe like I said, it is a real one because, you know, it is only a Bachelor of Arts. They're not going to be spending any money on you. Even though you spent whatever you spent to go to the university, it's not like a Bachelor of Arts is going to get you anywhere. Come on. That's why the Australian government thought it was a great idea to just put up prices more just so no one goes in them. But no, even though it was 5 years ago, you have to congratulate anyone that finishes university, you know. It's certainly no easy feat to complete, even if it is a Bachelor of Arts. And regardless whatever degree someone does, it is a hell of a lot of work. So well done to anyone that does it, but hopefully this person carries around this pocket-sized diploma just to remind them what they've done. We have a true enough portrait. The Amazon driver left our packages under the tree. Man, I'm surprised I don't see this more often. This seems like a great idea. I mean, I guess actually I have seen a whole bunch of videos where people steal Christmas decorations, let alone an entire Christmas tree. They'll just go, oh yeah, thanks. You know, it's your fault you left it on your porch. Obviously you didn't want it. But no, something like this makes complete sense to do. And whether it's your real tree or you just kind of pull one out the front for the Amazon parcels, either way, I'm sure it would have put a smile on the Amazon driver's face, just kind of rocking up, and they can go, oh, here you go, here's your present. Because realistically, that's exactly what it's going to be. Whether you're online shopping, Christmas presents are just arriving, or family is sending stuff interstate or whatever it may be, I almost feel as though you can just guarantee that those parcels under there are presents. And even just the fact that they've gone to the effort to actually decorate the tree, and not even with one bulb, you know, you got glitter and you got matte and you got shiny. I don't exactly know what this is, but it almost looks as though they've lit it up as well. Ah, yeah, because look down here, you can see them a little bit more clearly. There's just more down the bottom than up the top. But yeah, look at all these lights. So you've even lit it up for them. So maybe this is just exactly what you have to do to be able to, you know, stop them just getting yeeted onto your front yard. You just put a Christmas tree out the front and they walk up and they realize and they go, oh, actually, I guess I'll place it under the Christmas tree instead of just throwing it from the van. The inside of my dog's ear looks a bit like Trump's profile. Oh, God. That's such a random kind of thing to look at. Like, you kind of don't know what way to turn your head. I mean, I can certainly see it, and there's certainly some pareidolia in there. Even just down to the hair color, but I guess that hair is actually going to be real. And then this big eyelid, this big nose, and then the lips. Oh, yeah. Look, he's certainly not a small fella, but I don't know if his neck comes out like that. And actually, I think it's even completed just by the fact that their thumb is holding back the ear over here, so it's kind of stretched over here. It almost completes this jawline, and then it goes up here to an ear. It just ended up being a perfect coincidence in that case. But no, there's certainly something unsettling about looking at that. Just staring at it some more, I think it's also just the skin color, you know, it's kind of got this blotchiness to it. This nose is really just so ugly. So yeah, it's certainly a Donald Trump lookalike. I wonder if this person noticed this before or after taking the photo. Because, you know, sometimes you might just take a photo of your dog's ear, just kind of send to the vet, or for other documentation reasons, for kind of wax build up and cleanliness or whatever. So perhaps they actually took the photo first and then went, hang on, what am I looking at here? Or I reckon it's actually more likely that they noticed this a while ago, or, you know, before they took the photo, and then they took the photo on purpose. So yeah, I don't know if I want my dog to be having that kind of representation in its ear. But you know, hopefully your dog is alright that it lost the election. The ring mirror in my hotel bathroom reflects differently off my glasses since each eye has its own prescription. Oh wow, that is actually way more than I was expecting as well. You know, just the difference between that and that. You must have some wonky eyes, or I mean, it actually makes you look as though you have wonky eyes. And it also looks quite strange because I didn't expect it to have two rings. Unless that's a side effect of refraction through the glasses or something. I just can't imagine that it would have an outside and an inside ring light. For a hotel to go to that kind of length and effort just for a bathroom, I don't know if I'd ever seen something like that. But no, like I was saying, just the refraction difference in these glasses is just crazy. Can't actually think of the direction that one would be over the other. You know, I can only imagine that this happens because one is more convex or concave than the other. Just basing it off the fact that these two rings are kind of, I don't know, parallel if you want to call it that. I would assume that that eye is actually the good eye, where this eye, man, this eye needs some serious help, obviously. But I'm kind of surprised this is the first time you've noticed it, unless you just got new prescription or something like that, and it massively stepped up that one eye. I feel as though you would have noticed this kind of developing over a while. You know, it's not as though you need the ring light to be able to see this. Any kind of distortion or lighting should be able to do this. Or hey, maybe this guy's just brand new glasses. He hasn't needed it up until now and he's finally got it and he's finally gone, geez, my eyes are whack. So perhaps that's the case, but no, if they certainly weren't kind of weird before, this ring light certainly makes your eyes look pretty weird now. Our cat Mia rests her front paws on a towel to keep them off the cold surface. That just sounds uncomfortable, but I guess you're pretty light, so maybe the cat can take it. I mean, even though it doesn't look warm, I can't see snow outside your house, so I don't know how cold it is inside your house that your cat needs to be doing that. But I don't know, that seems a little bit ridiculous to me that the cat can't even stand on the ground without freezing its paws off. I mean, credit to the cat, if it's got cold feet and it wants to kind of keep warm, it makes sense, you know? You know, as well as all the other things that tails do for cats, from balance and communication and all those kind of cat things, now the cat just gets to carry around its own personal paw warmer and just be happy wherever it goes. It can just sit on the windowsill for hours and just have no problems with its paws getting cold. Because from this photo, it looks as though it generally enjoys staring out the window or whatever it may be, just kind of hunting it down, going, oh, I'm watching that rat, I ain't gonna get it later. You know, just generally watching the comings and goings of the outside world. But no, I wonder when the cat learnt it, or if it actually taught itself, or if it learnt it off another cat. I reckon Mia probably actually taught herself to do that, because I reckon you'd see the whole neighborhood of cats just standing on their tail to keep their paws warm if they could teach each other that. So hey, I guess we all better watch out, you know, when the Germans invaded Russia, they got kind of driven out because of the cold. When the cats rise up against us, our only solitude was going to be the snow, and I guess that's not going to work now that they can keep their paws warm in their tail. And so the top of mildly interesting for the month is, I have partial heterochromia in both eyes. Damn, look at that. Oh wow, it's actually what? It's flipped, that's the word. They're completely flipped. They almost take the same angle. This one's a little bit more flat, but then that one's a little bit more angled. But if you took that half and put it there, and that half and put it there, you would literally have virtually an entirely full eye. Man, that is so cool. What are the chances of that as well? Heterochromia rates, here we go. 6 out of 1,000, really is, wow, is it that high? Oh, okay, although in most of these cases, it is hardly noticeable and unassociated with any other abnormality. But yeah, so 6 in 1,000, it's barely noticeable. So how many people actually have noticeable heterochromia? And then from those people, you have actually just split in half your eyes. So that is just mental. Every time we look at mildly interesting, the top post is almost just not even mildly interesting anymore. It is almost just like oddly satisfying, and all those other ones that I just reckon, like, really, is it just mildly interesting? I reckon it's just downright interesting. And you know, some people even have different eyebrow colors per side of their face. So imagine if she actually had a split face this way and this way. That'd be mental. But man, she must just get so many questions about it all the time. Like, does it affect your vision? Does it do this? Does it do that? Do you notice it? Can you see different colors? The amount of questions that you would get asked both from strangers and friends and whatnot about it, I just feel it would be crazy, because it's just something that they're always looking at. You know, every time you're having a conversation, you actually look her in the eye, you're just going to be reminded that she has 2 Pokeballs. Granted, one is upside down, but they're both just looking back at you. So yeah, obviously it's kind of a mutation of some sorts. I don't know if it comes with any other negative health effects, but I reckon if it doesn't, I've signed me up for this. That is so cool. But I wonder if one of your parents had kind of the brown orange eyes and one of them had the kind of the blue gray, because I'd love to see where kind of you got these colors from. So yeah, like I said, those eyes are just incredible, and they're just so piercing too. They're almost like cat's eyes or something. Look at that. But anyway, that is going to do it for the top of mildly interesting for the month. If you did enjoy the video, maybe you can do the YouTube analytical things down below. Other than that, you know, I crank these videos out, so maybe you want to check some of the other ones out. You know, there are some pretty awesome posts out there. Or maybe just want to consider subscribing so don't miss another one in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.